Good morning, everyone!
Hello, and welcome as we are going towards the end of all our weeks. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Let's get you up to speed with some news that you could use right now.
Hi there, beautiful people. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Yes, one day to go till Friday. Let's make today awesome with some laughter, inspiration, information, and unstoppable energy.
And I'm Monique Tuzon, and your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. I thought today was Friday when I woke up.
I thought yesterday was Friday.
Why?
Yeah, this week has been long.
It felt long.
I thought
because of
Monday
the
was like
election
2 days, and then Tuesday was 2 days, so I felt
Yeah.
like my week was over yesterday almost.
I was telling Miss Mikey yesterday, like, today feels like a Friday, and she was like, no, today feels like it should be the weekend.
Honestly.
Like yesterday was supposed to be the weekend right after the election coverage because I don't know, all of the things that we were doing, all the events, all the happenings, it felt so busy, so hectic.
All I know is that Mo was probably the most busy amongst all of us because she has another job selling IT.
My biggest fan is Paolo.
No, I'm just saying.
I thought you were going to say something about her eyebrows.
No.
Grabe naman. Guys, it's looking better.
I moved on from her
It's looking
eyebrows.
better. It's healing.
Come on, zoom in lang ng konti. We'll look at the improvement on Mo's eyebrows.
No, it's scabbing
So
right.
there it is. So
It's scabbing. Grabe,
So
Direct, I thought we're best friends.
No, but all that aside, again, yeah, it was a busy week, but of course we're not done yet. And in fact, we still have a lot more politics to talk about. And
Yeah,
of
we have a
course,
busy show.
Yeah, we have a busy show, but we also have a bit of entertainment towards the end.
Yeah, I can't wait because technically speaking, it was like almost a year ago when one of Anne and I's favorite movies came out. That we'll leave it at that, and it's coming out again, the second part.
Yes.
So we can't wait to talk about that.
Yeah. And I was telling you off the air that they should show our video.
No,
'cause we
let's
did like
not.
a music video of
No, it's okay. We can just show Anne singing.
what was that song that we were
No, we can't. We'll just leave it at
Okay,
that.
all right.
We're giving too much away. They need to stay tuned to see which movie we're talking about.
Okay, so make sure that you're tuned in for the next hour and a half because
But-
we have a lot of surprises, just like the surprises we've had.
But you can
this
you
election
can also
season.
tune out now after hearing that.
No singing, I promise. Unless Anne starts bursting into
Si Paolo
song.
del Rosario, sobra. Thank you for always not supporting us. But anyway, as our viewers are enjoying their breakfast this morning, let's go give them some news that they can use, starting with our traffic update. Let's check out the roads and major thoroughfares this morning. Here is what is happening along EDSA Quezon Avenue flyover. Already looking busy on the left side of the screen. Those are the vehicles going to Quiapo. We're seeing moderate to heavy traffic already on that stretch. On the right side are vehicles headed to the Quezon Memorial Circle. Light to moderate traffic on that area. Now this time, let's take a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side of your screens are vehicles going to Shaw Boulevard. So if you're heading southbound, it's already looking busy. Moderate traffic on that area. On the right side, the opposite lane, vehicles heading to Cubao. We're seeing light to moderate traffic on that stretch as well. Now, heads up to motorists. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing. It's a Thursday, guys, so vehicles with license plates ending in 7 and 8 should be off the road right about now till 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Now let's find out what the weather's going to be like this Thursday. Paolo has today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Pao Pao.
Thank you, Monique. Let's take a look at what our weather is looking like today as we take a look at our weather map. Now, there are two weather systems that are currently influencing the conditions all across the country. First off is the ITCZ, or the Intertropical Convergence Zone, affecting the Mindanao area, while the easterlies are dominating the rest of the country. Now, the ITCZ is bringing cloudy skies to scattered rain showers and thunderstorms over Mindanao, as well parts of Visayas, including southern Leyte, eastern Samar as well, and will even extend towards Palawan, as you can see here. I'll move over to the middle just so you can see how it's all being affected. Now, residents in these areas should be on alert for possible flash floods and landslides, especially during moderate to heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, for Metro Manila and the rest of the country, the prevailing easterlies are expected to bring partly cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms mainly in the afternoon or in the evening. Now, stay weather aware and keep monitoring the official forecasts. Now, let's take a look at how the heat index is affected by all of these. Several areas are now under what we call the danger zone. Areas experiencing a heat index of 43 degrees Celsius include Dagupan in Pangasinan, Pacnotan, La Union, Apari in Cagayan, Iba, Zambales, Tayabas, Quezon, and San Jose Occidental, Mindoro. Several locations are also under the danger zone with a heat index of 42 degrees Celsius, including Lawag, Ilocos Norte, Tuguegarao City, Baler, and Casiguran in Aurora, and Subic Bay in Olongapo. Other areas feeling extreme heat at 42 degrees Celsius include Sangli Point in Cavite, Tanawan, Batangas, Los Baños, Laguna, Coron and Puerto Princesa in Palawan, Masbate City, and Pili, Camarines Sur. Additional areas under the 42-degree danger zone are Roa City, Mambusao, Iloilo City, Dumangas, Iloilo, and Catarman in northern Samar. Stay hydrated and avoid outdoor activities during the peak hours and be alert for signs of heat-related illnesses. Now, in terms of the sea conditions, there are no gale warnings currently in effect across the country. Most coastal waters are experiencing calm to moderate conditions, making it generally safe for small vessels and fishing boats to go out to sea. Now, winds are light and wave heights are relatively low, but sailors and fisher folk and those in coastal communities are still advised to monitor weather updates regularly. Conditions can change very quickly, so stay vigilant. But that is it for Weather HQ at the moment. Girls, back to you.
Thank you so much, Pao, for that weather report. Now let's go take a look at the partial and unofficial results in the senatorial race. We still have the same names in the Magic 12. There are 5 Duterte-backed senatorial candidates in the winning circle. Re-electionist Senator Bongo remains on top and at number 1, followed by Senator Bato de la Rosa. There is party list Representative Rodante Marcoleta at 6th, Camille Villar at number 10, and Senator Amy Marcos at 12. There are also 5 administration-backed candidates led by ACT-CIS party list Representative Erwin Tulfo at number 4, followed by former Senator Ping Lacson, ex-Senate President Tito Soto, Senators Tia Cayetano, and Lito Lapid. And you have the 2 surprise names in the Magic 12, former Senator Bam Aquino at number 2 and former Senator Kiko Pangilinan at number 5.
Now let's check out the party list race. Akbayan party list remains on top with its first nominee, Attorney Chel Jokno, assured of a seat in Congress. There's also the Duterte Youth Party list, Tingog, 4Ps, and ACT-CIS. ACT-CIS, of course, is the party list of Representative Erwin Tulfo, who is one of the frontrunners in the senatorial race.
The voter turnout for the 2025 midterm elections is, quote, very good. That's according to the Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting, or the PPCRV. Voter turnout this year came very close to the 2022 presidential elections, which was at 83%.
The voter turnout that we're computing is 80.27. I think maliit lang yung gap, less than 2%. And I think that's very remarkable because this is a midterm election. People seem excited about this particular election, even if it's midterm. And we saw that in the polls.
PPCRV also cited voters queued early in line at their precincts. The poll watchdog is calling for more volunteers for its random manual audit of the election returns. Their command center in Sampaloc, Manila currently has 185 volunteers, but could expand to 240 volunteers.
The House prosecution team beefs up its personnel in the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. ML party list first nominee Laila De Lima accepts the offer to be part of the prosecution team in VP Sara's trial. De Lima says this is part of her duties as a public official to, quote, uphold accountability no matter the personalities involved. Attorney Chel Jokno of Akbayan party list will also be part of the House prosecution panel. Akbayan says it is accepting what it calls a new chapter in the fight for justice and accountability.
The House prosecution team is confident about its chances in the impeachment trial of VP Sara. Manila 3rd District Representative Joel Chua says he's optimistic about their fight in the trial despite changes in the Senate, which will stand as the jury. Before De Lima and Jokno accepted the offer, Chua says the two are credible additions to the House prosecution team.
Talagang maganda rin na makasama namin sila dahil unang-una, nakita naman po natin hindi po ito mga ordinaryong mga kongresista, mga dekampanilyang abogado to, yung kanilang mga karanasan when it comes to legal matters, talagang mabibigat din naman. Senator Laila De Lima, si Attorney Chel Jokno, si Attorney Miro Kimbo, talaga ng mga may karanasan, may credentials at masasabi natin na talaga namang batak na pagdating sa trial.
Comelec assures the accuracy of the automated machines did not go lower than 99% in past elections. However, if a single ballot box shows more than 10 discrepancies, it will be submitted for technical evaluation.
Importante ito kasi malalaman nila na yung kanilang balot na binasa ng makina, tiningnan din ng tao, no? Para ma-verify na tama naman pala ang bilang ng machine dahil binilang ito ng tao. Katulad nung unang panahon, lahat naman manual counting.
Comelec says a random manual auditing will end in 45 days on June 28, 2 days before the assumption of office of the winning candidates.
Only days after the election, Malacanang has a warning for the winning candidates. The palace will fight back against those it calls obstructionists.
Mga obstructionist na maaaring pansarili lamang ang kanilang ilalaban. Kung gagawa man sila ng fake news, kung ano-ano mang mga balita o ano-ano mang mga statement na maaaring makasira sa gobyerno ng walang basihan, ito po ay ating tutugunan kagad.
While not all of the president's Alianza candidates made it into the Magic 12, the president says he is still satisfied with the election's results. And as the palace sends a warning to obstructionists, it says the president welcomes all legitimate opposition.
Ang trabaho po nila ay para sa bayan, para sa taong bayan, hindi para sa iilang interes. So anumang kulay yan, wini-welcome po talaga ng Pangulo na makaisa ang bawat leaders natin para tugunan kung ano man ang problema at magbigyang solusyon ang pangangailangan ng mga kababayan natin.
Palace Press Officer Claire Castro debunked claims that the election results indicated a protest from voters against the arrest of former President Rodrigo Duterte and his transfer to the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Here's her statement regarding the issue.
Kung sino man po ang nagpapakalat ng mga ganyang klaseng mensahe ay hindi na po dapat natin pinapansin at hindi dapat natin pinaniniwalaan. Unang-una po, kung totoo po na ito ay protesta dahil sa pag-aresto kay dating Pangulong Duterte, di na po dapat nanalo. Itong si Senator Kiko Pangilinan, hindi na rin po dapat nakasama sa Magic 12. Si Senator Tito Soto, si Senator Lacson, at saka si Senator Erwin Tulfo. Pasinin po natin yung mga hindi nakasama sa Magic 12 pero nasa 14, 15, yan din po ay mga alyansa at sila po ay naniniwala patungkol po dun sa ginawa po ng pamahalaan sa pag-surrender kay dating Pangulong Duterte sa ICC.
The Philippine National Police has lifted its full alert status after the polls have closed. The PNP Public Information Office Chief Colonel Randolph Tuanyo says the police force has reverted to heightened alert status.
Kung mapapansin po ninyo, kahapon po, nagbabas po ng alert news ng status po ang Philippine National Police. Kaugnay po nito, nananatili pa rin na ang mga nakadeploy, lalo na po doon sa mga lugar na kung saan ang mga PNP personnel po ay hindi pa po tapos yung kanilang bilangan pag sa submitten ng mga elections returns ay nananatili po sa kanilang mga lugar.
The NCRPO, on the other hand, remains hands-on in the current national canvassing at the Manila Hotel.
Yorme is back in Manila and his first agenda to fix the garbage collection system and clean the streets of the city.
Hindi ako mangingimi. kung ano man yung mangyayari sa kanila pag hindi sila nagbuti. Because kapakanan ng taong bayan tong pinag-uusapan natin, hindi negosyo nila.
Isko Moreno Domagoso returns as mayor of Manila after garnering almost 530,000 votes. A huge lead from his rival, incumbent Mayor Hani Lacuna, who only got nearly 190,000. His running mate, Chi Atienza, will take over as vice mayor, while ally Joey Uy will replace Benny Abante as 6th district representative. Aksyon Demokratiko, led by Domagoso, now also controls the city council after securing 22 of the 36 seats.
Former President Rodrigo Duterte won the position of mayor of Davao City despite currently being detained and awaiting trial in The Hague. Many questions arise about what this will mean for the former president and the mayoral position he won. Veteran election lawyer Romulo Macalental had this to say on the matter.
Hindi niya pwedeng gampanan ng kanyang katungkulan habang siya ay under detention. Sapagkat magkakaroon ng parang discrimination naman yan. What about the other prisoners na maaari mga businessman o ibang mga trabaho din na gusto lang i-perform ang kanilang functions. At anyway, hindi naman daw maapektuhan yung boto ng taong bayan dahil sa nung ibinoto sila ng taong bayan ay alam ng taong bayan na sila ay nakakulong, na sila ay hindi maaari makapag-function, but the people took the risk of electing them. At any rate, sa kanya namang kung sakal nakabilanggo man siya doon, nakadetain, nandun naman ang kanyang vice mayor na under the law ay po pwedeng siya muna ang maging successor in the meantime na hindi siya makapag-function as regular mayor ng Davao City.
In world news, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in hot water during his first congressional testimony. Kennedy defended billions of dollars in cuts and thousands of firings at his department since he took office. Kennedy also took blows with his weak endorsement of measles shots during an outbreak with 1,000 cases across 11 states. The health secretary has sown doubt over the safety of vaccines throughout the years, a rhetoric that critics dub as dangerous to public health.
The world #1 tennis player Jannik Sinner has a challenger from the Vatican. Sinner was invited to meet Pope Leo XIV, becoming one of the first audiences to meet the newly elected pontiff. Leo joked earlier this week that he didn't want to meet the world #1, at least not behind the net. Sinner presented the Pope with one of his tennis rackets, but declined a suggestion to knock a ball around. The Pope, formerly known as U.S. Cardinal Robert Prevost, described himself in a 2023 interview as quite the amateur tennis player. Sinner is taking part in the Italian Open tennis tournament near the Vatican.
Now on to more sports. In the UAAP, the NU Lady Bulldogs remain the queens of women's volleyball as they complete a two-peat in the season 87. The Lady Bulldogs shut down the De La Salle Lady Spikers in Game 2 of the finals on Wednesday at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. Three-time season MVP Micaela Bella Belen saving the best for last for NU with 18 points built on 17 kills and a block. How are you feeling, Bella? Vange Alinsug and Shaira Jarjo were named co-finals MVP. Meanwhile, from Pasay to Roma, it's the end of the road for Alex Yala and Coco Gauff in the women's doubles tournament of the Italian Open. Yala and Gauff lost to hometown bets Sara Errani and Jasmine Paolini in three pressure-packed sets in the doubles quarterfinals on Wednesday, Philippine time. Gauff, though, is still competing in the singles event, where she'll next face China's Xin Wen-Zheng in the semis. In the NBA playoffs, the Boston Celtics are looking to defy the odds in their title defense campaign. The Celtics take on the New York Knicks in Game 5 of their Eastern Conference semifinal series happening right now in Beantown. Down 3-1, Boston's quest back-to-back just got tougher after losing their main man, Jason Tatum, to an Achilles injury. Over in the West, the Golden State Warriors are also fighting for survival against the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 5 of their conference semifinal series. The Dubs are also trailing 3-1 in the series. The Warriors have lost their main man, Steph Curry, to a hamstring injury in Game 1.
On our entertainment, with a criminal trial of Sean Diddy Combs ongoing, prosecution has brought in their star witness, the rapper's ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura. Ventura testified that Combs raped her in 2018 after they ended their decade-long relationship, and he agreed to a $20 million settlement to end her 2023 civil lawsuit against him. Prosecution also showed jurors photos of Cassandra and various escorts at the so-called freak-offs, to which one juror swallowed hard and another jerked his head back. The disclosure came on the third day of the Combs trial, where he pleaded not guilty to 5 felony counts of racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted on all counts, Combs faces a minimum 15 years in prison, up to life behind bars. Now on to the lighter side of things. Wicked for Good, the sequel to the blockbuster film Wicked, has unveiled its official movie poster. On the film's Instagram, the poster showcases a standoff between Elphaba and Glinda atop opposing cliffs overlooking the yellow brick road. The poster also features the tagline, "You will be changed." Cynthia Erivo plays the role of Elphaba, while Ariana Grande portrays Glinda. The sequel is set to release on November 21. Our favorite movie!
Yeah,
I'm so excited. I can't wait. I didn't know when I was reading the script if it's Glinda, and I wanted to say Galinda. I like it better as Galinda. Paolo.
She's so quiet. Oh, that's why
I was gonna say
it.
it changed. She changed her
changed
name.
it.
Yeah, can you keep in track with what's happening
I
in the
just
movie?
like Galinda. It just sounds fun. Like when you say Galinda.
Galinda.
Yeah, I'm excited for this because again, pleasantly surprised with what happened in that first movie.
Yeah,
Same.
that first movie was really long.
I didn't realize how in love I would be with the first movie.
Yeah, because if you watch the actual stage play, right, it's also lengthy, right?
Yes, it
so
is. Yes.
you know and it has to still kind of live up to what happened in the first one. So let's see how they make this.
All right,
long
well,
is this
I am
gonna be?
excited.
I think it's 2.5 or almost
Almost 3 hours.
Yeah, like
yeah.
the
No, but
first one.
second acts are typically shorter, so this should be shorter.
So we'll see.
Should be.
We'll see.
Yeah, should be shorter.
But
And,
you can
Wait.
expect more singing in the cinemas as they.
No, we're
air
gonna
the
fight
second
people. No, you're not allowed to sing in cinemas,
That is
okay?
my pet
Yes.
Do not
Actually.
sing in cinema. So in other
Please,
words, kung
don't.
nakita nyo si Anne sa pila, umuwi na kayo.
Yeah, literally. So, no, but then you'll give her the whole theater to herself.
O, like, umuwi na kayo. Guys, hindi worth it. Okay?
That's why I always look forward to the di ba may parang sing-along version of the movie that they show
Such
like
a
after.
tita vibe. She's like, I want the sing-along version.
Gusto nagkaraoke ng weekend.
Hindi, they also have that for the mga Disney movies, right? They have a sing-along
Sometimes.
version. Yeah.
Not all the time.
I think they aired also like a sing-along version for this, if I'm not mistaken, in the
Yeah, but
US.
I think sa streaming, not
Oh, yeah, maybe
here.
streaming. It's
But-
okay. Anne sings along to everyone.
Yeah, so again guys, kung nakita nyo si Anne sa pila for Wicked Part 2, alright?
Run.
Book another one.
Hindi po totoo yan. Ladies and gentlemen, wag po kayo maniwala kay Paolo del Rosario. But anyway, we got some serious conversation up ahead. Which boats floated and which sank? We take a look at 2025 election campaigns that made a mark and those that made just noise. That analysis with Dr. Gary Dionisio after the break. Stay tuned. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. The 2025 elections was a show of true colors and a test of star power. After the polls have closed and the numbers pour in, we look into what worked and didn't work in campaigns. We have in the studio this morning Dr. Gary Ador Dionisio, Dean of College of St. Benilde School of Diplomacy and Governance and Senior Advisory of WR Advisory Group. It's a beautiful day. Sir Gary, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Anne, Nick, and Paolo as well.
The conversation was already interesting off the air because we're talking about all the surprises, those unexpected twists and turns that we had this midterm election. I want to start with what were those unexpected events, these surprises that were notable for you?
Well, number one, I think aside from the election of Bam Aquino and Pangilinan, despite their not performing very well from the reputable survey firms, I believe it's the election of Akbayan as being the number one party list at this day and age, and even garnering the most highest number of votes in the entire party list election when it was introduced in 1998. So there are many surprises as well. No? Perhaps I can attribute that to the hard work of its Senator Risa Hontiveros, who have seen her consistency from the Pogo issues, Pastilla scam, despite all the attacks against her.
Yeah.
And of course, Akbayan represents a broad range of candidates that represents cross-class and cross-sectors. No? So you have human rights lawyer, Chad Jokno, you have Percy Sendanya, who represents LGBT, and you have the third nominee from Mindanao, it's also Moro. So, and what is also surprising is that party list votes, you only have to choose one, right?
Yes.
So it's somehow very significant to have the result of election. And although, on the other hand, you will also, the second highest party list group is Duterte Youth.
Yeah.
So you see a very polarizing, contrasting, and an interjecting of different ideas from this election.
Yeah, mahirap talaga i-analyze, especially when you look at, again, how opposite in terms of polarities yung Akbayan and Duterte Youth in their top one and top two, with Akbayan being the surprise up top. But another big surprise here is that kapag nakita natin yung mga celebrity candidates, in particular, very mixed results despite high spending. Let's take a look at si Bong Revilla in particular, Willie Revillame. They were not even, well, they weren't as close as they would have expected to be in that top 12.
Well, aside from that, you look at also some party list group who also employ celebrities and influencers. They're not faring very well. You know, if you look at this, only few of them, Solid North, only I think si Maha Salvador ata yan, ako Bicol, si Jericho Rosales. But aside from, other than that, look at, for example, ang Provinciano ni Piolo Pascual. It's not all performing very well. So, to some extent, there are some learning opportunity for this election that we are now more interested and invested to examine the platforms, the programs, and the message. Not only the people who endorses this party. So that's very important for me to take note in this election.
And I think one of the most important lessons that candidates had to take away from this election specifically is the change in campaign shifts. Because this year, they had to use a lot of social media. How do you think that influenced this year's election? And which candidate or candidates would you say used it the best, authentically and innovatively?
Well, at this juncture, we already noticed, for example, the rise of social media vis-a-vis traditional media. In fact, there were studies, I just forgot the firm that conducted it, that people are generating more news, somehow between social media and traditional media. So masyado nang malapit. So, and I agree, the use of social media is very important. I also attributed the role of Akbayan there. I think they have a very good social media campaign. Ang galing, they also manage all these influencers across. So, would you imagine Ann Curtis will campaign for them? So I try to monitor their performance for the last X number of years. This time, they really gathered a lot of social media influencers and celebrities. But of course, there are also some failures also who utilize social media, and because it lacks you a clear message. Tingin ko yun ang nawawala eh. Kung hindi maliwanag ang mensahe mo, despite all your spending, all your boosting, all your trolling, to be even included that, and people will not clearly understand your message at hindi nagmamark, no, yung so people will not vote for you, no? So yun yung nangyari. For example nga, yung mga celebrities natin, kasi kung ang bilangan ng celebrities, hanggang ngayon sayang nga si Willie Rebellion, no? So yung popularity niya hindi naman nag-translate, including also other celebrities. Diba? So these are interesting note to examine further.
In fact, si Bong Revilla nga came out with a statement that he was actually surprised that he didn't make it to the Magic 12. So he wasn't expecting this turnout. According to the PPCRV, this midterm election, 80.27% yung national voter turnout, which compared to the previous midterm election, mas maganda yung numbers this year. So what is the implication of this?
Well, if historically midterm elections is not that high compared with the national elections, no? But this time around, again, I think many people now have been invested. Had the word, they're interested, invested, no? And they somehow thinking what will happen. Diba? To our future, no, in particular, not only present nga, kasi after this election, people are they're still looking for price of rice, 20 kilos, the case of the problem of unemployment, now accidents, for example, on the streets. So these are daily issues that we need to address as well. No?
But, Prof, you mentioned that it probably shows that people are more invested this time. That's why there's this good voter turnout in the midterm elections. Do you also feel that since majority of the voters, registered voters this year are Gen Zs and millennials, do you think that this is like a sign that really the younger generation are invested and they really want their voices to be heard?
Well, definitely. I completely agree with that, Anne. No? And again, if you will notice the surveys when it was conducted before the elections, no, it will only provide a different snapshot. Again, there's a misconception the survey predicts outcomes. That's true. Surveys are scientifically conducted and only provide an outcome of a particular time and moment. That's why survey questions basically are designed if elections will happen today. So we're talking about today. So therefore, the result of elections tells otherwise that, youth vote, particularly the millennials and Generation Z, really push back their interests to some extent. Of course, it's not that as perfect as perhaps they would imagine, because they might some have candidates that they really wanted, why are you there? No? But on the other hand, it's a good sign. I mean, it's a good sign as well.
I want to go in on the campaigns again because you mentioned a while ago that social media played a big factor, and I wanna compare that to what we saw a while ago when it comes to traditional media, because we actually have a few figures on the ad spending of some of the candidates. It's interesting to note that some of the higher spenders did not actually end up making it to the Magic 12. Of course, we're going to focus on centers here. You take a look at Francis Tolentino, you take a look at Benhur Abalos, Bong Revilla, Willie Revilla not on this list. But then you take a look at that. With Camille Villar, Amy Marcos, Abby Binay didn't make it either. The top two, Villar and Marcos, actually barely made it. And what does this say about traditional media, first and foremost?
Well, in terms of the ad spending, I mean, at the end of the day, people will listen to your message. Still, message matters. And of course, it also value-added the character of the candidates as well. No, you might have a good candidate, but he has a problem with message. On the other hand, you have a very good candidate, but he does not speak very well. So it's a combination of many things. So it doesn't mean that you bid a lot of advertisement, a lot of campaigns or using social and traditional media, but people have problems of understanding what we stand for. For example, Francis Tolentino. If Francis Tolentino, perhaps my idea is, if you already clearly speak that he's against the Chinese intrusion in West Philippine Sea, it might add. My sense, but you only speak that during the last week of the campaign. So kung dinina niya maigi yun, baka nakatulong pa yun
Yeah.
to generate more support.
If the message was pushed forward, of course.
But
we
very
want-
late. Para sa akin, parang very late.
Yeah, I mean, like we also saw people, at least online, make fun of candidates who they felt did not have messages in terms of yung plataforma nila. But apart from that, you talk to a lot of these winning candidates and even the winning party list. They're going to tell you a couple of things when it comes to yung winning formula nila. Sasabihin nila na it is one, social media, ground efforts.
Yeah.
But then another
Ground war
interesting thing
and,
is grassroots. Grassroots were a part of it. Bam Aquino in particular has a very funny way of describing his grassroots. He calls them the Bam Aquino Youth Action Group o yung acronym po yun. And then you take a look yung mga party list, they have been working with college students and people who weren't even allowed to vote yet until they were able to get there. So is this the new way of campaigning?
If I may share, 2 weeks before, or actually starting last April, my school of the De La Salle College of St. Benilde, conducted a voters education campaign to different universities. So we hit Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. No? And every time that we present for example, the survey of WR numero, and people will, show its remorse and disgust. But when we discuss, for example, this guy, but if you mention, for example, the name of Bam Aquino, people will jeer and will talk about Kiko Pangilinan. People, they're really, the venue's really about to collapse. So that's their excitement. And, well, to some extent, I did not, personally, I didn't put more attention on that.
Yeah.
But when the result happened, so I went back to what we did, for example, because we went to CLSU, we went to Visayas State University, to what you call this, Batangas State University as well. So key universities, those in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, we received the same affirmation from Bam Aquino and Kiko Pangilinan. So, of course, we dismissed it because we thought, it's only a youth vote. But all of a sudden, there was a ravage, of votes coming from the millennials and the Gen Z, from this result.
Did we see in this election new forms of disinformation or manipulation using social media, especially with AI being so prevalent now with fake quotes, deep fakes?
Yeah, there are.
What can you say about that?
Well, there are. In fact, the malign influence, for example, is pursued by the so-called Chinese government to denounce, for example, our legitimacy in West Philippine Sea, also been proliferated during the campaign.
Yeah.
There also, for example, in the hearing of Senator Francis Tolentino, I don't know if you remember that, there was a firm who been commissioned by the Chinese embassy to promote their programs as well. So I think that's also a tip of an iceberg.
Yeah.
And perhaps there are a lot of influencers right now who managed to train in China, and they admitted that during the hearing in the Quadcom. They went there to attend a seminar. So perhaps they might be included in the sphere of so-called malign influencer in our country today.
Yeah, you look at the influence that influencers have. You look at how people are trying to manipulate the narrative. But there was also a narrative that we saw from the pre-election surveys. Some people were panicking. Some people were like, okay, maybe I have to change the way that we're campaigning or looking at things. But then the results from the actual election compared to the surveys were varied, to say the least. We talked about it a while ago, but I want to dive into it a bit more. The companies actually did say that they have to look at their methodologies again because of the discrepancy of this. Going forward, our reliability on the surveys, especially towards the next election, the national elections, do you think that will change things?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, as I also explained, we have to remember that when surveys were conducted, it is very much applicable at that time. It was, the field work. So we have this field work. So survey, if you design the questions and then you conduct a field work. So when field work happened, and then this will be processed, it will take some time, a week or two. And then here you go, election analysis will be provided. So you see the time and motion studies that included from the time it was survey. For example, I think the last survey that was conducted sometime in the end of April.
Yeah.
So from May 1 to May 12, 25% still undecided at the time. Okay. So there might be some factors. Perhaps endorsement from local politicians. Yung nga problem, for example, ng Alyansa, I think they have a very good chance kung tutusin kasi they have the incumbent eh. But I think yung si Toby Tiangco, yung campaign manager, mukhang hindi na-maximize all the opportunities that they have. And you may failure din doon kung tutusin kasi you have big names. Pero did Congressman Toby Tiangco really coordinated with all the machinery? Baka hindi. Kasi sabi nga ni Senator Ping Lacson, medyo may failure in terms of voters delivery yung administration.
Yeah, we were talking also about how this could be a VP Sara versus Marcos. Really, that's a narrative. In fact, people are thinking that still might be the case come the next elections. But it feels like there are more soft voters out there, or at least undecided, as you mentioned a while ago. Are political colors, are political factions still the end-all, be-all? Nakita naman natin yan, especially in previous elections when you were a Duterte voter, normally straight. If you were for Lenny at that time or your opposition, normally straight kayo. But right now, because of the variance, are there more soft voters, or are you hard-coded for factions right now, or has that changed?
Well, my initial assessment, for example, those are results of the unofficial pa naman kasi, no? Makita mo, for example, in Mindanao, you will see a lot of, the Duterte really winning in that Mindanao area. In Mindanao. No? But the rest, you will see some mixtures. Okay? So makita mo maigi doon yung perhaps a combination of soft voters become hard at the end of the day, or they decide to choose. So may volatility pa din in that sense. But again, ang crucial dito will be what will mark yung kanilang the day that you're going to vote. No? Ito yung mensaheng maaalala talaga nila. At tingin nila ito yung tama for them. No? Unlike in Mindanao, kasi I traveled in Mindanao this past elections for to do some lectures, no? And then of course I will ask them. Talagang medyo solid din talaga sila. And then I also look at some of the FGDs conducted, no? Iba rin talaga ang pagtingin nila, for example, sa West Philippine Sea. So medyo may regionalism factor din na dapat natin consider. But of course, these are still under discussions. So we have to have a scientific and rigorous data gathering and methodological approach to generate a complete and comprehensive discussions and results of this election. No? But nevertheless, these are snapshots that will perhaps guide us. No?
Prof, we're running out of time, but before we let you go, I want to go back to campaigns that worked and didn't work. What do you think are the lessons that can be taken from the outcome of this midterm elections? Kasi parang nakikita natin na social media versus traditional media, and we're seeing that the trend is like people look at the message, so hindi na gumagana yung song and dance number. So what do you think are the lessons that we can, or the politicians can take from the midterm elections that probably they can use for the 2028 elections?
Well, I have a academic approach on that. I call campaign continuity plan. So for a campaign continuity plan, the best thing to do is to review and assess your performance, including FGD with your team. Pero very prominent talaga ngayon yung preparations. Okay. More than anything else. You might have a good message, but at the end of the day, the time is your enemy. That's a big challenge. You might have resources, but at the end of the day, you don't have a good strategy. Again, that's a problem. So preparation matters. Planning is everything from the onset. And of course, a good candidate can only be a good candidate if he has a very good machinery. Yeah. And of course, the volunteers as well. No? Ako kasi, nakita ko yung election nga Dakbayan, wala namang pera yan. Pero they have these dedicated volunteers, even celebrities, campaigning for them house to house. So would you imagine? No, sila Pokwang, and other social media influencers. Nakita ko sa social media, grabe. So they just believe in the intention and the platform of this party, yung Akbayan.
Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Gary Ador Dionisio, thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Up next, a Filipino-American actor is in town to share his knowledge while reconnecting with his Filipino roots. Vincent Rodriguez III will join us in the studio live after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hello, hello, welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. We've got Pinoy Pride on the show today as Filipino-American actor Vincent Rodriguez III is in town to share the tricks of the trade while reconnecting with his Filipino roots. And he is here to tell us the story and more. Magandang umaga, Vinny. It's a beautiful day.
Mr. Ka, it is a beautiful day.
Oh, we sound the same when we speak Tagalog.
I want to sing, it's a beautiful day and I can't stop. I love that song.
Yes, Vinny, I have an ally today on the show.
Yes, you
I
do.
always make fun of me for my Tagalog, so we sound the same. Thank you for being here.
Ayaw.
Ayaw.
I grew up with both. Paolo was not prepared for that.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything at the moment. I'm good. No, but Vinny, thank you so much for coming on over. Like you've made Mo feel more at home today as a Phil Am coming home.
We're literally neighbors in the U.S., so thank you.
Where do you live?
I was born in San Jose.
Oh my God!
Yeah, so
oh
we're
my
like down the
gosh!
street.
All my other friends live in San Jose. Hercules.
Besties, Vinny. We're besties today.
The Philippines we brought the Philippines to the Bay Area.
Exactly.
Actually, I think you're both
literally.
right. You're both right.
But I want to know, Vinny, when you started Crazy Ex-Girlfriend and you played the role of Josh, how was that like stepping into the shoes of Josh, especially representing the Filipino-American community?
Well, it was an honor to be blessed with such a role, especially after pursuing a career on Broadway for 11 years in New York, which was my dream, and a dream I fought for in my family because it wasn't always championed by my dad. My mom just wanted me to be happy, but my dad didn't understand the business, and he wanted me to be successful. That's a love language, wanting your kids to be successful.
Right.
That's all he wanted, and I learned that as I grew up, and I also learned how much I'm really like my dad. Except I like show business, entertainment, and I also love educating and teaching and giving back. And I do have the skill of teaching ever since I graduated from school in 2003. And so getting the role of Josh was monumental because I was told I wasn't supposed to be a lead. I was treated like, no, you're a character actor. You're not a leading man. You're too short. You're too this, you're too that. And I listened to them and it hurt my heart, but I knew deep inside, they're wrong. And I knew if I studied, if I paid attention, if I used my awareness, my intellect, my mind, my soul, my natural passions, if I follow them, I can't go wrong because that's me.
Right.
No one else is me, right? You're unique, you're beautiful. There's so much talent and light in you, and people need to be reminded of that. And so getting the role of Josh was an opportunity to take a role that was for an Asian actor. They didn't specify the type of ethnicity. And so when they hired me, Josh Chang became Josh Chan. And they honored my heritage, and they knew I was Filipino. I told them stories about how I grew up and what my friend group was like, which is very similar to Josh. There was like one white guy. White Josh was not a character in the show that was designed. It was created by finding actors who inspired the creation of a role. And that's an example that I learned in New York, where you bring your art to the work and you elevate the material with your point of view and your experience that no one else has to enhance the creative, the collaboration. You make it together. It's brand new when you work together. Your idea might be good, but what happens if you combine the ideas of someone else that you don't even know and you play? Then you can discover. So I got to do that on Crazy Ex, creating the role of Josh Chan. I was the janitor of this character. I held all the keys, how he feels, how he sees the world. And I felt so appreciated, valued, loved. I'm on a text chain with those people. They always make me laugh. I champion them. I love them. Rachel Bloom and I still text. And I feel grateful to have put Filipinos on the map, getting Lea Salonga to play my aunt, which made me faint.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I fainted.
I can only imagine how you felt when the confirmation came in.
I literally fainted.
Yeah.
Paolo, I fainted. I'm in the writer's room. Aline Brosh McKenna tells me, and even she tells the story, Vinny fainted.
How long were you out?
Yeah.
Like a scooch.
Okay.
Just a scooch.
Yeah.
I had to come up there like, Vinny, are you okay?
I would not have been able to handle that.
Yeah.
And now we're friends, and I saw her in Old Friends on Broadway and in LA. And I like the idea of lifting up the communities that we belong to. So I do that with the API community as a Filipino-American, even a member of their union in LA, going to the picket line, believing in the unity and uplifting others, not just thinking about yourself, because we need one another. We're here for each other. And also in the LGBTQ community, I want to represent and open the hearts and minds of the viewers, which is one of the hallmarks of working at Hallmark, because I got to do 2 Hallmark movies the last 2 years, and I became, the first year I became one half of the very first same-sex couple to ever star in a Hallmark movie.
Oh, that's amazing. And I'm a fan of Hallmark movies.
Well,
I love watching
I'm like,
them.
what specifically?
Your movie.
Oh, thank you. Christmas on Cherry Lane?
Yeah,
oh my
of
gosh. I
course.
mean, that one, or Season's Greetings on Cherry
Exactly.
Lane. Which Cherry Lane are we?
The Vinny Cherry Lane. That's what I want.
Oh my gosh, I never heard of that. I like that. I see a movie, I see a spinoff.
It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming.
Make sure to credit me.
Yeah. Vision. It's like my friend Monique, she came up with the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. And Monique will get a bit of credit there. But Vinny, we're going to focus first on the fact that you love educating. One of the reasons why you're here, you're reconnecting with your culture, rediscovering a bit more of yourself. I mean, what I love about talking about Filipinos who grew up overseas, not necessarily from the States, is that when they talk about being Filipino, sometimes they have a hard time grasping it until they come home. And sometimes they have a hard time trying to figure it out, trying to reconnect with what it means to be Filipino to people who grew up to being in the Philippines, right? So, I mean, you come home, you're trying to educate, you're trying to teach, and at the same time you're learning as well. I can only imagine how the process is like for you.
Well, there's a phrase called a teaching artist. And I learned that when I did my very last national tour, Anything Goes, the Broadway national tour. I was Luke. And this is as close as I got to Broadway, was doing national tours of those shows, but working with Kathleen Marshall, the Tony Award-winning director and choreographer. And because we had the opportunity of teaching for the Roundabout Theater Company, and they called us teaching artists. And that stayed with me, because I was already teaching, but I didn't know what that meant. And I started to define it for myself. A teaching artist is an artist, professional, any level, who chooses to teach. So between jobs, you could argue I can take a vacation, spend time with my husband. We do. We enjoy living life and being people. But I cannot deny my passion and drive to give away the things that I have, the things I didn't know I had, the things that I fought for and waited for other people to validate in me. And that was a discovery I made during the pandemic, and it was very emotional. Finding out that I'm neurodivergent, I'm gifted, I have ADHD, I'm a hypersensitive person. This is science. And I was shocked. I cried, mourning the life I didn't get to live because I waited for other people to tell me who I am and that I'm enough. And now I know the truth. We have it in us, and I want to give that gift back. So it's not just about teaching arts, helping you get a job or work on your voice or work on your character work or work in your dialect, because you have to learn how to do all these accents in school.
Hey, I love it. I learned that. Oh my goodness.
But to hear it, it's like a song, and you have to go for it and listen to it and aware of it, and then you could do it. But so these ideas, but because I was a kid, I was.
Amazing.
You were singing Britney and Whitney, and then we were singing Frank Sinatra. I bet, I think I can see it. I can just see you with that in the sway.
Yeah, no. That's actually accurate. But
Let's move on.
But see, when you do that, when you're in touch with who you are and what you love, that's you. And I love the idea of helping actors do that, because it's such a hard business. It's a business. It's not show play. It's show business. And I've seen it and I felt it. I've been through the challenges of my family accepting me and feeling that resistance, that pull, tension, and that pressure to be successful, thinking that that was the only way I would get accepted by my family. And I realized, no, they love me. And they love me unconditionally. And that's the love I have in my life. Those are the people I keep with me. And that's how I treat my students. I create a space where they feel safe to try and fail. Fail big. Fail and risk. Risk failure at the possibility of success. That's how you win.
Yeah. No, Vinny, so, I know my co-anchors here, after you did that accent, I know they also want to try. We have voice talent, Tita, over here. She wants to have her debut as well, trying out an accent.
I wouldn't even want to try.
No, but that's the thing. You have to try.
I can only say expecto patronum.
Expecto patronum.
Expecto patronum.
Expecto patronum.
I should join your master class. classes. But anyway, your master classes are happening this week. Almost done now. We're wrapping up Sunday.
No, we wrap up Sunday, but there's 6 master classes left because this is a 3-day intensive.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. Friday is another 3, so that's Friday night at I believe it's 6:15, 7:15. Yeah, at 4.
Close enough.
So 4 o'clock at Mirror Studios.
Okay.
And there's all 6 master classes are different. So those 3 that I teach, they range from dance to acting on camera, audition technique, singing your song, not performing your song.
Yeah.
Sing the song, sing the story. Who is the character? What are they going through? People don't just respond to the beauty of your voice or what they see. We have empathy as human beings and we feel each other. So if you feel it, you don't have to work to get me to feel it. It's going to be there. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's real. Bluetooth, we use it all the time. Emotions and empathy are the same thing. So putting that into what we do as artists, and I'm going to teach that on Friday, I'm going to teach that on Sunday in the morning, again at Mirror Studios, but Sunday will conclude the last 6, and hopefully I'll bring this back to the States, other places there, bringing my solo show as well, and coming back here as often as I can.
And every time you come back here, you have a master class, right?
I always like to teach between jobs. So right now I'm between jobs. I actually have a voiceover project coming out. It's going to be pretty big, global, and I can't wait to talk about it then. So that's my hint. That's my hint.
Which you're going to be talking about here once it's announced?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll have to check my schedule. I would be honored to come back here.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
But you know, Vinny, what I love about what you're doing right now in terms of teaching and when it comes to trying to educate people, one of the things that, first of all, I love the fact that you're so open, that you're so empathetic, that you try your best to connect with everyone. And what I really like about the way that you're going about your work is that I feel like you're teaching people, because in the arts especially, when there is no conflict, there's no drama, so you always have to be comfortable around conflict. And all of a sudden, you're teaching people how to cope. And coping is probably the most difficult thing out there. Because you're coping with rejection, you're coping with making mistakes, and you're coping with the idea that, hey, maybe for some people I'm not good enough, but I gotta be.
You are enough. Don't let anyone tell you different. You choose who you are. You're born with an inner truth at birth, but as you live life, you have to get in touch with your power. And actors are a beautiful example of that. So are all of you who chose to be here. You know you can handle and do difficult things because you're here. Any student that comes into the class, you know how I know you're going to be successful? Because you showed up. You're in front of me right now. That is a sign of faith in yourself. It doesn't matter what level you are. I have beginner actors who don't know anything about their voice, who don't know how to body language. They're not aware of these things that you guys do all the time. They have to be trained, and the only way you learn is through failure. Because if you're perfect, there's no room for growth. When you fail, you grow. So you can tell me how talented you think I am or how wonderful you see me, you think I am on stage. That's because I was willing to fail, and I did, and I paid for it. In money, in blood, sweat, and tears. In New York City, they say if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And I didn't know if I made it because I didn't achieve the dream, the end result that I set out for myself. I got something better. I got something that allowed me to resonate with a wider audience. I love Broadway, and people come from all over the world to see Broadway, the West End. I dream of working at those places, Australia, going back to Canada, playing Germany, the UK, Singapore. I want to travel and share art and work with other artists. You can only do that if you're willing to learn how to cope. You have to be resilient, and you have to be true to, and remember to surround yourself with people who believe in what's possible, because that's literally what our job is as actors. To believe in something, have faith in something, know you can do it. Because if you do voiceover work, you don't have a script sometimes. You just show up, and you don't know what you're gonna say, you don't know who you're gonna work with. Is it one person on Zoom or 3 people on Zoom? Who are they? What do they do? What are their names? You learn their names. You create for 4 hours, and what you come up with is better than anything you could have come up with by yourself. And that is the beauty of art. And that's in voiceover, in TV, film, theater. There's a synergy, a commonality. So I think even you as journalists, as interviewers, there's something that you're driven by, the story, that connection to human beings. We just do it in different ways. So I like to share those abilities and the skills you need to cope with the challenges of that environment, so that you can sustain. You can go beyond surviving, and you can thrive, and you can help others do the same by being the example, living an inspired life, knowing that other people are inspired by you.
Oh, I love that, especially with like all of us.
We were just listening.
I know, I'm
here
so
and,
taken
absorbing
away.
everything, all this positive energy, all this inspiration from you. That's the whole interview right there.
Yeah. No, and it's amazing because what you're saying is art is a collaborative effort, and without Paolo, Anne, and I, and the whole team, It's a Beautiful Day wouldn't be here.
Exactly.
It wouldn't be the same.
Yeah.
So everything you said, spot on. But I want to go back and talk about, you mentioned earlier you have a secret voiceover project coming up. We're going to talk about that on your next guesting. But what I want to talk about now is what our viewers don't know is actually that you voiced Raiden, right, from Mortal Kombat. Let's get a sample of that. I want to hear. And how did that come about?
Well, I auditioned during the pandemic. I had no idea that it was for that game. I had no idea it was for that character. The character was called New Guy. And they gave me a log line, a basic story. And they said, in a world that, they were vague, very vague. And even with the character, I think I had a 4 or 5 adjective breakdown, which is a character breakdown. And every TV show, movie, every audition, they tell you who the character is, their age, now all the specifics from the script that you don't get to always have because you don't just get to read the script. So here's the character we made, here's the log line, here are the sides. What do you got? Give us your ideas. That's what every self-tape, every audition is. What are your ideas? Good, bad, or indifferent. Try them out. Show us your best work. And then let's see if it works. Let's see if it fits. So the no that you were talking about, Paolo, is not no, you're not good enough. It's no, not for this part. Because guess what? That casting director could be saving your audition. Because maybe you're right for something else in the future. So always bring your best. And so when I voiced Raiden, not knowing it was for Raiden, I just brought my best. And they said, if you have a Chinese accent, use it and give us options. So I did one with a Chinese accent. I created the character to be kind of like Bruce Lee, because they said he was like a monk, he was wise, he was a warrior but gentle. And I thought, oh man, well, Bruce Lee's a great comp, like a great comparison. I'm going to get inspiration. So I listened to it, I researched it, and I developed it, did it myself, and then I read the lines and I discovered things in the moment, sent off that audition, and I didn't say my name until after the audition, which is not uncommon because sometimes they don't want to know who you are. They just want to hear the work. And halfway through, Dominic, the guy who created this world of Mortal Kombat, said, when I heard your audition, halfway through I went, is that Josh Chan? He had watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, and then he heard my name and went, oh my gosh. And he told me, after I got it and we became friends, and he's like, you got the part, and I was so happy that you were Raiden. And so I got to bring this wisdom and this quality of bravery, of heroism, of righteousness, fighting for good, fighting for the light in us that outshines and overpowers the darkness. Darkness is simply an absence of light, and you have the light in you. So that helped me get the role of Raiden and get to say lines like, Kung Lao, why do you give Madame Bo such a hard time? But when it was Bruce Lee, it's Kung Lao, why do you give Madame Bo such a hard time?
I love that.
So I had to find, because I wasn't sure, and sometimes you don't know if it's that good because you try an accent, and sometimes you have to research more and use the International Phonetic Alphabet to translate the sounds, which is actually what I did in my career, playing a Chinese role, Bun Fu, in Thoroughly Modern Millie. I had to learn Cantonese to speak Cantonese and sing in Mandarin, and I didn't know how. So I looked up the vowel substitutions and I transcribed everything into IPA so I could learn the sounds, just like I learned the sounds in Tagalog growing up.
Yeah, it's perfect. And you know what? We have to wrap things up, unfortunately. But your masterclass are still ongoing. For those who want to sign up, how can they do so before we let you go?
Oh yeah, you can sign up by going to the link in my Instagram bio or just going to my Facebook fan page. You can also just go to the website, dmhmproductions.com/events. That is my producer's production company, Don Mike Mendoza. DMH Productions. And so you can get registration there, and there are still spots. I suggest you get them soon so that you don't miss out.
Perfect. Nice. All right, Mo, you can wrap this up in Tagalog.
Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Pupunta ka dito this umaga. Oh my God. Oh my Tagalog.
That was really good. You're looking at me like, is that right? I'm like, don't look at me.
I know you look at me like, I don't know what she's saying.
Yeah, because don't look at us.
Paolo, like, oh, don't look at me, don't look over here.
Don't look at us. We're good.
Oh, I
guys are so
just
much
embarrassed
fun.
myself.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Just
you,
play.
Vinny.
Yeah, come back, please.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you for
love
joining
having
us.
us.
Vinny.
It's always a beautiful day in
Always a
here.
beautiful
Always.
day.
Thank you so much again, Vinny, for coming.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, Vinny.
Maraming
Really
salamat.
appreciate
Salamat,
you. Next
salamat.
time. All right, so let us calm down. When we return, we dive into the colorful world of ornamental fish. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. This is Weather HQ. Now, from aquariums to living rooms, ornamental fish have become a colorful part of many homes. But behind their beauty is a thriving industry that's making waves across the globe. Now, today we dive into the world of ornamental fish farming with a local expert who's turned his passion into a growing business. Joining us via Zoom is Mr. Jason Francisco, owner of JMP Pet Finder Shop in Davao City, to talk more about fish farming and the future of this fascinating trade. Magandang umaga, Jason. Thank you so much for joining us on It's a Beautiful Day.
Good morning din po sa inyo at sa lahat po ng mga nanonood.
Jason, simulan muna natin sa kung paano ka nagsimula sa fish farming, ornamental fish farming in particular.
Actually, it did not plan to be a business. It was really my hobby lang. Dati, when I was still in elementary, I am buying fishes, putting them in like planggana, balde, just to have something to be pet of sa bahay. Then eventually, when I was able to produce more of the offspring of my fishes, I tried to sell them to pet shops here in Davao City. Fortunately, one of a pet shop that I went to ordered fishes from my stocks every week. So that gave me the idea that it could become something like a source of income. So I continued to make that passion until high school. Then I stopped when I went to college, but still the passion really is there. I returned during college also. I did take good care of my fishes again, then to sell also. So until now, after graduation from college, I just did not go to work. So I just get the business permit of my fishes, then I registered it legally. So now I am fully operating my own business, which started from my hobby only.
Grabe naman, nagsimula sa isang palanggana at buti lang sinabi niyo po na legal na po kayo. But of course, kapag pinag-uusapan natin yung ornamental fish, how would you describe kung ano po yun?
Ornamental fish po kasi pag sinasabi mo yan is nasa usually fresh water yan eh. Kasi iba yung salt water eh. Pag sinabi mo salt water, yung nasa dagat. So yun yung mga isda na medyo bawal kasi yun. Kasi protected yun sa ating government. So when ornamental fish, usually lahat ng mga ornamental fish sa Philippines, imported po yan. Kaso lang, when naparami natin locally, we cannot sell it the same price as what we purchase is from outside. So parang nagiging local na lang siya. But lahat talaga ng isda, wala naman tayong makikita sa ating ilog na goldfish, angelfish na existing. Usually nasa ibang bansa yan. So the passion there is, ang akin lang kasi is very grateful din tayo, Philippines, because all throughout the year, dalawa lang season natin, rainy and then sunny. Kasi when that is the weather condition of a country, we could breed the ornamental fish all year round. So yun yung advantage natin. Yeah, kaya we could be able to import fishes from other country, then breed it here, then we could produce it same as what other countries can produce, more than pa if ever the opportunity is right for us.
Well, I'm sure na malakas yung demand for ornamental fish, pero ano yung mga pinaka-in-demand na breed na type ng ornamental fish? Dito sa Pilipinas in particular.
Sa ngayon kasi, ang isda din kasi, para din kasi yung fashion statement. May mga bagong dumarating na like imported variety. Like now, sa aking experience, mostly ang in demand ngayon is the glow tetra. That's a kind of fish na medyo flat, parang belong-belong, pero may ibang kulay like blue, green, yellow, ganun. Yung kasi ang parang mas nag push through yung production dito sa Davao City, and we were able to grow it out fast. And glow tetra nakikita mo sa buong Pilipinas galing sa Miman ngayon. But meron ding yung mga high-end mollies, la balloon mollies, like yung mga iba-ibang kulay, the platinum ones, the golden blue tails, yung mga ganun. Man din yun. And also ng mga beta ng mga high-end din. Kasi ngayon ang nagiging trending sa communication, lahat kasi hindi din namin sasabayan yung kung ano yung in demand. Magkakaroon kami ng overstocking ng stock na hindi naman mabibili. So magiging expenses yun along the way. So yun yung aming we will be depending kung ano yung trending, so we will produce it sa amin facility to be able to compete. Kasi po ganito po kasi ang actual scenario ng ornamental fish industry sa Philippines. Hindi po kasi lahat is legally operating. Walang lahat kasi meron kasing requirements yan supposed to be if you want to ship out fishes from different places within the Philippines, you need to apply for like our certificate from the BFAR. So that certificate of wildlife fisheries, parang allowed ka to ship out fishes. So hindi kasi isa sa requirements nila ang business permit. They just want requirements to have the facility lang na makita nila you can stock the fish. But unfortunately po, sa side ko po na legally operating, paying taxes and everything, disadvantage po yun sa akin kasi they are the ones who saturate the price. If, for example, a certain variety of fish can be sold for 8 pesos, and then when they are the one who will transact to the same customer that I'm supplying, they will offer 4 pesos. So the market will tilt. The customer will really change to a different supplier. So yun yung pong disadvantage. So walang protection po. So kaya nga po, ang sa akin lang po sana is, if ever there's a facility that would be able to, like what we say, commissary of all ornamental fishes in different places, like not only in Mindanao, Visayas, and Luzon, that will be able to like control the prices, and they will be the one to export the fishes outside the Philippines. That's much better because the livelihood there will be, lahat ng nag-aalaga ng isda sa buong Pilipinas, meron silang parang palengke ba na tinatawag. They have the stocks that they want to sell, they could go there and offer it sa facility. Then the facility will give them the price kung magkano yung purchase price, kasi ganito din ang buying price sa labas. Kasi the facility cannot buy the fishes kung ano din yung selling price, kasi the facility will have the expenses and everything. But ang advantage po nun, sir, is magkakaroon lahat ng income habang buhay. Kasi there's a facility that will buy their stocks. Walang limit. As long as they will be favorable with the price.
So, Sir Jason, sorry,
yes, sir.
I have to cut you off here. Pero just to clarify, yan talaga yung biggest challenge niyo po. Basically, yung mga illegal na ornamental fish dealers and of course other pet dealers, they talagang tinitilt yung price point when it comes to sa business po ninyo. But of course, syempre, that medyo mahaba ata yung proseso nun to try and solve that problem, especially pagdating sa gobyerno and trying to make sure the legislation is there. But for the meantime po, considering yung mga challenges po ninyo, ano yung susunod para sa JMP Pet Finders at ano po yung next exciting projects nyo po?
Actually, I have a partner now that we will be opening a shop. We will be wholesaling aquarium accessories. Directly, we are importing directly from China. So that's my second plan this year. So most probably we will be starting by June because our stocks will be coming by June also. So that will be my part of my new venture because I am trying to put all my resources on the fish industry, but sad to say, it's hard to
Mahirap.
manage it if hindi mo kontrolado lahat. Kasi ang Filipino attitude is mga seloso, mahilig, ayaw nilang masenso ka. That's why I am very thankful sa mga partner ko because they are not Filipino, they are foreigner, but they choose to have a Filipino partner and they chose me. So I am very grateful for that so that I will be the one who will manage the operations of the business. So yun po yung magiging venture ko. Hopefully po, yung mga tao na nakita sa akin sa they will be trusting our product and also we will try to improve the industry as much as we can that we will be able to help out everyone from the industry. So hopefully po in time I will be returning back to the fishes but I will not stop with the fishes. I will also continue with it but I will just divert muna yung resources to this venture ng namin accessories.
Maraming salamat, Sir Jason. Sorry, we have to cut you off there. We have to cut you off there dahil sa nawawalan na tayo ng oras. But then I really appreciate yung passion nyo po and hopefully things get a bit easier for you and your business. And of course, hopefully more and more people coming over. Go check them out sa JMP Pet Finders. Maraming salamat, Jason Francisco, for joining us all the way from Davao City.
Thank you very much din po. Sige po.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So that's it for Weather HQ for the moment. Girls, back to you.
Thank you, Pao. Now, what do the stars have in store for us today? Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Go ahead, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Thursday, May 15. Para sa mapinanganak ng Year of the Rat, iwasan ang stress. Subukan ang yoga or journaling. Pink at 6. Punta naman tayo kay Year of the Ox. Be kind to your heart. Iwasan ang salty, maalat at mga matataba, mga fatty na foods. Brown at 4. Kay Tiger naman tayo, eat fruits and vegetable para healthy tayo. Live at 8. Kay Rabbit naman, don't let small problem affect your performance sa trabaho. Violet at 2. Sa mga dragon naman maglagay ng feng shui na wind chime sa bahay para tuloy-tuloy ang swerte. Black at 1. Sa Year of the Snake naman tayo, drink herbal tea para ox ang tiyan. White at 3. Ito naman kay of the Horsey. Show your love kay partner through action. Hindi lang puro salita. Orange at 5. Sa mga Year of the Ship naman tayo, huwag matakot humingi ng feedback upang mapaunlad ang sarili. Coral at 9. Sa mga Year of the Monkey naman, huwag magpuyat para iwasan ang stress at pagod. Peach at 7. Sa mga Year of the Rooster, inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Para ma-relax ang isipan. Platinum at 6. Sa mga Year of Dog naman tayo, never stop learning. Mag-aral ng bagong skills na makakatulong sa career mo. Red at 1. At kay Year of the Pig naman tayo, be brave. Lumabas sa comfort zone mo para sumakses. Blue at 5. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ito po'y mapatnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan araw-araw ang horoscope of the day. Dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. Woo! Napagod ako sa show natin today. It's so jam-packed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, I'm concerned about Mo.
Why?
Kasi pangalawang araw na yung payo ni Master Hans kay
Oo
Mo.
nga, to relax.
Mag-meditate,
Yesterday,
mag-relax, mental health.
need to relax.
Mo, are you okay?
Am I okay after my Tagalog? No. Maybe that's why I need to inhale and exhale.
I think we really deserve a break this
Can I
week.
just say, so sobrang proud ni Mo sa Tagalog niya during the election coverage.
Ay.
She is sending to everyone, lahat ng mga clips na nagtatagalog siya, all throughout her social media. So
I sent it to all the video anchors. I was like, guys, look at my Tagalog. I was so proud. And then I flopped
pero
today.
bumawi na yun eh, no? She's
we're
back.
back to normal.
Mo is back. But
That's
speaking
okay.
of
It still
being back,
sounds adorable, though.
100%.
Yeah.
And speaking about being back, it's nice to have the show up and running again. And of course, we'll be back tomorrow. But for now, that is it for us this Thursday, May 15. Ako po si Paolo del Rosario. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Thank you for making us your daily morning habit. Wherever this day takes you, always remember to choose joy, spread love and kindness, and bring your own sunshine.
And ako, si Monique Tuzon. Have a great Thursday ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a beautiful day.